For this section of the report, we're going to be completing the performance and equity area. It starts by having a table at the top for your CTE program and CIP code. The important thing to know about this table is that you have to complete a table for each credential you're including in your ADR report. For example, that means if your program has an AAS and 3 certificates, that's a total of 4 credentials, and you need to copy and paste this table so that you have 4 of them and you complete the table for each credential. You can see that the data that we're looking for is for 5 years, year 1 through year 5. What those years mean is year 5 is the last or most recent year of data, and as you go towards year 1, you're going further into the past. For each year in that credential, you need to identify the number of students enrolled and the number of completers. The best place to do that is in the CLC Data Warehouse Completion Dashboard that was presented to you on Friday, September 20th. Once you've completed that for each credential, move down this document. The next row is what disaggregate data was reviewed, and the college provides an answer. You can write more here if you want, but it's not required that you do so. The next row below that is how does the data support the program goals? This one I would actually save and answer last in the document. You're going to want to do all of the data analysis before you try to talk about how data support the program goals. So save this one for the end. We'll come back to it. The next row down is asking were there any gaps in data in terms of enrollment, retention, success in your credentials and in your program. To find the data to analyze for that, I'm going to present a different set of dashboards that can also be used. Directly below this video is a link to the college's Culture of Inquiry and Evidence webpage. When you click on it, it will take you to a page that looks like this, and you will want to scroll down to the institutional dashboards. We're going to look at the top 2, starting with the Student Attributes dashboard. When you go into the Student Attributes dashboard, it will likely appear like this. You may have a different appearance in the head count by ethnicity in terms of the number of bar graphs. The important thing that we want to do is to select the fiscal years we need in order to do this review. So in the control panel, which is the thing at the top above the bar chart, the second row, which is the bottom one on the left, has fiscal year set to all. If we click the down arrow there, it has a menu, and select all has a check mark. We click it to deselect all and scroll down. The years for this review are from 2019-2020 through 2023-2024. So I click to have those 5 years being shown, and what we can see is that now in the bar charts we just have the 5 years of this review. I'm going to jump really quick back to the Word document because there's actually another question that this dashboard is really good for. It's the second to last question on the Word document. Are the students served in this program representative of the total student population, meaning the total student population at the college? Going back to the Student Attribute dashboard, right now we have this set to all divisions, all subjects, all programs of study. So what we're seeing is college level data, meaning that in 2023-2024, College of Lake County as a whole had a student population that was 38% white, 42% Hispanic, 7% black, 7% Asian, and 6% not specified. So we're getting college level data here by ethnicity. We can click the menu options on the left and look by gender to see college level, start of term, all the different things that go into there. The question in the performance and equity section is asking you to compare your program to college level data. So you can go through and get all the college level data here. And then for program, again in the control panel at the top, Towards the right on the bottom row is program of study that currently says all. You can click down, deselect all, and then go to your program. I'm going to use phlebotomy technician as the example for this one. When I click to phlebotomy technician, you can see that the data have changed, and we can see what this program's student population looks like by ethnicity, by gender, by start of term, and all these different groups. So you can compare your data for your program to the college's data overall. There's one more thing you can also do. I'm going to reset program of study to all. You can also look specifically at your division. Again, second row, the bottom row of the control panel. In there, the middle, just left of program of study is division. Click the down caret. I'm going to deselect all because we looked at phlebotomy. I'm going to go to their division, biological and health sciences, and we can see data on the division level. So you could have college, division, and program level data that you're looking at, which can be very helpful. For the question in the table that we started with, were there gaps in the data in enrollment, retention, success, all that good stuff? The Culture of Inquiry and Evidence webpage has a second dashboard just below the student attributes one called Course Success. When we click on that, it will take us to the Course Success dashboard that has a main menu that looks like this. You can start by going into Overall, and it has something set up like this. Now, a lot of the time I'm going to set mine back to all fiscal years. You may have something that looks like this. Each time you go into one of the sections of the Course Success dashboard, you're going to want to make sure that in the control panel, you go to fiscal year and just select the years for this ADR cycle, which again are 2019-2020 through 2023-2024. Because we have everything else set to all, again, we're looking at college level data. Again, it has in the middle this time of the control panel where you can select programs of study. So I'm going to select all and go down to phlebotomy technician again as an example. And now we're seeing success rates in the phlebotomy technician program. And then you could have a table by subject and course number. Tables are good, but I'm very visual. I like charts. So if we want to see a chart, we go to success by subject. And the first thing you see again is that there are lots and lots of fiscal years. Again, every time you go into a section, you may have to set it to be 2019-2020 through 2023-2024. And right now there's a bunch of different stuff because all programs are selected. So again, deselect it, go to your program. I'm going to use phlebotomy technician as the example again. And so the first tab will say by subject. This is actually looking at all the different courses that students who've selected phlebotomy technician as their program of study have taken. So you can see there's classes outside of the program that have been taken, and it takes a while to load, and as you scroll and go down, you'll see that there's data on all the different subjects and courses. Of course, my example of phlebotomy, if I kept scrolling, which takes a while because it's loading, you would have the phlebotomy classes in there to look at specifically. The other options in the left menu going down are all very valuable for you to review for your specific program. And this is where you're going to start to try to find trends that the Word document is referring to as those gaps. So again, I'm going to do this one and then you'll get the idea for the rest of them. Fiscal year, remember to go through and set it to the years of the ADR cycle that we're in, 2019-2020 to 2023-2024. And then program of studies in the same spot, sort of in the middle of that second row of the control panel. Again, I select phlebotomy technician. And now we get data that has seats taken, so we're seeing how many students total, which is the number above the bar chart, and then how many students of, in this case it's ethnicity, different ethnicities are within the program. We then can click the second tab above the bar chart, which is success rates. And we can start to look and see, do we see any kind of pattern that maybe there's an ethnicity in this case that has very high success rates, another that has lower, and we can start to identify some of those gaps. We can also look at withdrawal rates to see if there's any kind of patterns, and even GPA earned for the various groups. And again, in that left control panel, you can do this by ethnicity, gender, age group, full-time, part-time status, start of term, which is looking at, are they a new student, are they a continuing student, are they a returning student, are they continuing in the same major versus new major. Lots and lots of different ways to look at that. Success by location, if you have multiple campuses that your program is at. If you have online, there's success by instructional mode. And then maybe my favorite of all of these, because it's something I've always wondered about, is success by residency. So what that is looking at Lake County in 4 different quadrants: northwest, northeast, southwest, southeast. And again, select your program of study, which I'm going to use phlebotomy technician just to be consistent. And it's going to give you data and information. Remember, fiscal year, this one I already had set to the years of our review, but you might have to go back through and do that. When you put your mouse over an area, it will tell you head count, success rate, withdrawal rate, and as you move it around, you can see that those numbers are changing for the different cities that make up Lake County. Again, a very powerful tool, because for me, when I look at my program, we have a very large footprint online at the Grayslake campus and a smaller footprint down at the South Lake campus. We don't have a footprint right now in Lakeshore campus for my program Earth Science, but we do offer dual credit at Zion and Waukegan high schools. And so you can analyze the data to see, do we have a demand, like do we have a lot of students who have residences in an area, but we're not offering as many classes there or something like that. So you can actually do this geographic analysis to see where your students are from and what your level of capacity is at the campus that's closest to that location, which again is one of my favorite. Going back to the Word document, that again, you're going to do the analysis. There's an example provided below this video as well that you can look at how other programs presented the data and information they found there. The last question, so we've answered all of them except for that one, how does the data support the goals? The last question before that one is, are students in this program representative of the district population? So you already have your program level data from the question above where you looked at the college level and your program level. To find the district data on our ADR FY25 Canvas page, you go to Files, and then in each program, I'm just going to click Horticulture as a CTE program. When you go into your folder in the Files area, there's a document that has been added called Demographic Overview Lake County, Illinois. When you click that, it will load the document, which is taking a bit of time here. But when the document loads, it has data on the total population of Lake County, the changes projected in the population from 2024 to 2030, and then it breaks down population by different demographic factors, such as it has the population makeup by ethnicity, by age. So you will get the information for different demographic factors at the Lake County level from this document. You can see it's not loading for me, but it will load for you. So I'm actually going to go back to where we can look at it here. So you get that information about the district level there to compare to your program. Once you've done all this, again, you come back up here to how does the data support the program goals. You've now done the full analysis. You've looked at the number of students enrolled and completers in each of the credentials for your program. You've identified gaps in that. So here you write sort of a summary of, the goals of the program are to get students through, is it X amount of classes to a certificate, X amount of classes to an applied science degree and into the industry, and then talk about your data and how it's meeting those goals. Like, do you have a really high number of completers, so your program is very good at getting students through the pipeline to the end? Or do you have very low gaps that most of the students, independent of what different demographic factors they come in with, are getting through? So that's, again, something you'll be able to answer after you go through the full data analysis. That is the end of the video for how to complete the performance and equity section of the report.